Leverage authentic storytelling. So really share compelling stories that highlight your company culture, employee experiences, and impact. Authentic storytelling humanizes your brand and helps candidates connect emotionally with your company.
Hello and welcome to Masters of Comms, the podcast for transformative communication techniques straight from the pros. Today, we will decode the dynamics of a global employer branding strategy directly with insider expertise. In this episode, we'll dive into Takeda's quest to weave a cohesive culture amidst their expanding global footprint through mergers and acquisitions. The big question: how do you intertwine diverse corporate identities into a unified culture? Our guest from Takeda is a leader on employer branding, and she will unveil how to launch and gauge the resonance of an impactful employer brand. I'm Lamar Williams, host of Masters of Comms, as well as head of partnerships at Sociable. And I'm accompanied by our guest, Diana Macovei, Associate Director of Employer Brand and Recruitment Marketing at Takeda. Hello, Diana, and welcome to Masters of Comms.
Hi, Lamar.
Diana, would you mind taking a minute to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. My name is Diana. I am with Takeda for 1 year. My background is in employer branding. Prior to Takeda, I was for almost 9 years at Swarovski, leading the employer brand, but also HR communication and social media activities. My background is mostly in social media and digital communications, but I did develop a passion for employer brand. And this is really something that makes me happy and makes me wake up in the morning with the joy of coming to work. And it's the passion that I have for a brand, but connecting it to the people, that's something that really resonates with me and makes this job beautiful every day.
I am really interested in understanding a little bit more about Takeda and what they do.
Certainly. Takeda is a global biopharmaceutical company headquartered in Japan. With a rich history spanning over 240 years, Takeda is committed to bringing better health and a brighter future to patients worldwide through innovative medicine. We are guided by our commitments to patients, our people, and the planet. And our vision is to deliver life-transforming treatments to those in need.
Thank you so much for that. Diana, first of all, I really want to congratulate you, as Takeda has been recognized as a top employer for the 7th consecutive year, which is fantastic to hear. And yeah, I'm sure that having a strong brand is really a lot of work. Could you briefly describe why employer branding is so important at Takeda and why you're putting so much effort on this topic?
Thank you so much for your kind words, Lamar. So at Takeda, we recognize that our employees are our most valuable asset. And that's why creating a positive employer brand is essential for attractive, but also retaining top talent. A strong employer brand fosters employee engagement, loyalty, and pride in our company. By showcasing our commitment to employee development, diversity, and inclusion, work-life balance, and community engagement, we can attract people who align with our values and contribute to our mission of improving patients' lives. Investing in employer branding is a strategic priority for Takeda because it enables us to create a supportive and inspiring workplace culture where employees can thrive and make a meaningful impact on global health.
In hearing your real commitment and investment in your workplace culture, it's actually quite evident that this is a topic that really is central to Takeda and obviously your management team. So what were some of the initial steps possibly that you put in place to align internal stakeholders with the new employee branding strategy? And afterwards, how was that subsequently diffused to your global teams?
To ensure alignment with our new employer branding strategy, we began by engaging key stakeholders across various departments and teams and levels of the organization. This involved conducting internal workshops, focus groups, and surveys to gather insights and feedback on our existing employer brands, but also understanding what is our future state. We also worked closely with our HR and communication teams to develop a clear messaging framework and an action plan that resonated with our company values and strategic goals. By fostering open dialogue, providing resources, and encouraging participation, we were able to generate buy-in and enthusiasm from this initiative across the company and ensuring that our employer brand remains a central focus and priority for Takeda and its management team. And if I want to go a little bit deeper, at Takeda, the employer brand is built on 4 pillars. The first one is called Grounded in Heritage. It's all about our heritage, the 240 years of history. The second pillar is called Connected by Values. Across all parts of the business, We are connected by our values, and the values are the ones that guide us. Committed to the purpose, we're dedicated to patients, our people, and the planet, and we are proud of the contributions made to drive impact. And finally, the fourth one is driven by pursuit. We are constantly evolving, acting with endurance in our steadfast pursuit to achieve the best outcomes for our patients. This is what we promise to our people at Takeda when they join us. Come join us and you'll make history and change futures.
Based on what you've just mentioned, all of that, I would imagine that a lot of your actions really set the foundation work to really building alignment across your global teams. So, as Takeda is a Japanese company with employees and entities all over the world, I'd say that this creates a complex tapestry of global business, so to speak. And yet, I would assume that the alignment of these threads across the multiple corporate cultures could be quite challenging, but obviously necessary. So, can you address your process for setting up an employer branding strategy when dealing with diverse entities and geographies?
Absolutely. Managing employee branding across different entities and geographies is indeed a very challenging endeavor. We approach this challenge by recognizing and embracing the unique cultural nuances and the business landscapes of each region while staying true to our global values and beliefs. We do prioritize in all our communication inclusivity and diversity in our approach, leveraging a combination of centralized and localized initiatives to cater to specific needs and preferences of different regions. Additionally, regular communication, training, and collaboration platforms are used to facilitate this knowledge sharing and alignment across geographies. To give you an example, in November 2023, we launched Career Navigator. It's our internal talent marketplace, which is built on AI technology, and it provides with targeted job openings, learning opportunities, and mentoring options to support career growth philosophy of our employees worldwide. While the tool itself is very self-explanatory, we needed to adjust the communication materials to simplify and translate the to different languages so that our audience and people in the production environment or on the shop floor would better understand and relate the message, thus contributing to an increased adoption rate.
Fantastic. And knowing that the creation of a transversal strategy is at the foundation, it's also quite important that your strategy resonates with your internal and external talent. So, possibly you could give us an example of what you've implemented to enhance talent attraction efforts to make sure that everyone's aligned and really on the same page.
What is important for us is that we need to ensure our employer branding strategy and overall content resonates with both internal but also external talent. So the stories we are telling externally, they have to be true internally, and they really have to be embraced and lived by our people. One impactful initiative we've implemented to enhance the talent attraction was the use of those storytelling and multimedia content. We did present this, or we did collect these stories and present them on our career website. And these are the stories that showcase the diverse career journeys of our employees. These stories not only showcase our unique culture, values, and opportunities, but also serve as powerful tools to engage and inspire both our current but also prospective talent. Additionally, we use various communication channels such as our social media platform. So LinkedIn is our go-to employer brand platform, internal newsletters, virtual events, but also digital signage across the organization to share these stories and ensure consistent messaging across all touchpoints. By aligning our storytelling efforts with our employer branding strategy, we create a cohesive and compelling narrative that resonates with individuals at every stage of their journey with Takeda.
Yes, and based on these activities to engage and attract global talent, it'd be really useful to understand how you addressed adversity. Possibly, could you illustrate the challenges that you may have faced in raising awareness of the Takeda brand in the different countries that you're present, especially considering the complex nature of pharmaceutical products?
Navigating the complexities of raising brand awareness for Takeda across diverse countries, especially in the pharma industry, poses unique challenges. varying regulatory landscapes and cultural norms impact our communication strategies. To address this, we developed tailored messaging for each audience, leveraging partnerships with local D&I organizations and participating in industry events, career fairs, which help enhance our brand visibility and credibility. One example would be a campaign that we launched. It's an employer brand campaign that was called Your Next Challenge. And this campaign was targeting our 4 personas for especially manufacturing environment, engineering, manufacturing sciences, technicians, and operators, and people who work in the quality departments. While the messaging that was developed was in English and tested on different markets, shortly after launch, we found out that we needed to translate and adjust the messaging to the audience. So for countries as Germany, Austria, Spain, China, and Japan, we did create local campaigns with translated materials and slightly adapted messaging. And that for us was an example of sometimes one way or one message doesn't necessarily go through, and you need to adapt, but keeping the same core messaging.
Your example is really pertinent when we're talking about languages. That's great to understand that. And understanding the how to is really quite important. But once you've actually implemented the various aspects of your strategy, we also need to understand whether what you're doing is working or not. So, how are you addressing the measurement of your employer branding strategy at Takeda? Provide us with what metrics or KPIs you've established to measure the real impact of your initiatives at launch and over time?
Measuring the effectiveness of our employer branding strategy is crucial to ensure continuous improvement and alignment with our goals. At Takeda, we employ a comprehensive approach to measurement using various metrics and KPIs to evaluate the impact of our initiatives. The main indicator of the successful employer branding activities was the applicants requisition per month. And this was a number that, for example, in 2023 increased from 14.2 to 21.8 versus 2022. Some of the other key metrics that we track include candidate engagement. So we monitor metrics such as website traffic, social media engagement, candidate interactions with our employer brand content to understand the level of interest and engagement of our potential candidates. We also take a look at application rates. So we track the number of applications received for open positions and then analyze trends over time to assess the effectiveness of our employer branding efforts in attractive qualified candidates. Employee referrals are very important to us. There are markets where employee referrals actually make up to 25% of the new hires, and we measure the percentage of hires that come from employee referrals. This serves us as an indicator of employee satisfaction, but also advocacy for our employer brand. Quality of hire. We assess the performance and retention of the new hires to understand the quality of the recruitment efforts and the alignment between the candidate expectations and the reality of working at Takeda. And finally, employer brand perception. We do conduct surveys and get a feedback from candidates, employees, and external stakeholders to assess the perception of our employer brand and identify areas of improvement. By tracking these metrics and KPIs, we gain valuable insights into the effectiveness of our employer branding initiatives, allowing us to make data-driven decisions and continually optimize our strategy to attract, engage, and retain top talent.
Now that we have a variety of actions that listeners can work on today, could you take us through some of your top 3 recommendations that you would advise listeners who are struggling to just get started on implementing an employer branding strategy?
Sure. So first of all, launching or implementing an employer branding strategy can be sometimes daunting. But here are my 3 recommendations that worked for me in the past. The first one is to define your employer value proposition, or EVP. You can start by clearly defining what sets your company apart as an employer of choice. What is different? What is your company doing different and better? What is also something that you have in common with other best performing companies in this area? Identify the give. So what you give as a company to your employees, unique benefits, culture, opportunities you offer, but also the get, what you expect from the talent, like values, expertise, passion, dedication. And this EVP should resonate first of all, with your target talent audience and align with your organization's values and goals. It is one important imperative of that the give and the get together with the EVP should always be true and should always be verified internally with the employees that you have at your company. The second one is leverage authentic storytelling. So really share compelling stories that highlight your company culture, employee experiences, and impact. Authentic storytelling humanizes your brand and helps candidates connect emotionally with your company. You can use a variety of platforms such as social media, blogs, employee testimonials to showcase your EVP and attract top talent. And finally, foster internal alignment and advocacy. Ensure that your employer branding efforts are supported and championed across all levels of the organization. Encourage employees to become brand advocates by empowering them to share their experience and promote your employer brand externally. And then foster a culture of transparency, open communication, and continuous feedback that can help strengthen internal alignment and grow that advocacy.
Those are some really great takeaways. Define your employer value proposition, leverage authentic storytelling, and foster internal alignment and advocacy. Thank you so much for that. And Diana, I have one final question that I enjoy asking all of our guest experts at Masters of Comms. Would you mind sharing with us the title of a book or a film that had a significant impact on you recently and why?
One recent book that had a profound impact on me was Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. This book resonated with me because it addresses important issues related to women in the workplace and the challenges they face in achieving professional success. Sandberg's personal experience, but also insights on leadership, empowerment, and the importance of women supporting each other have inspired me to advocate for gender equality and diversity in my own career. The book encourages readers to lean into their ambitions, overcome obstacles, and strive for greater opportunities, which perfectly aligns with my personal values and aspirations.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Diana.
Thank you as well for having me.
This has been Masters of Comms, the podcast where transformative communication techniques straight from the pros. Find us here for the next episode. See you soon.